Welcome to AirTime with ELGi. This podcast explores the world of air compressors, industry trends, and innovations transforming businesses worldwide. In each episode, we engage with ELGi air experts, ELGi leaders, and ELGi partners to uncover insights, share experiences, and discuss the future of compressed air solution. Whether you are in manufacturing, heavy industry, or specialized sector, this show is something for you. I am Prince Lawrence, your host, and today's podcast topic is Clean Air, Zero Compromise, the Oil-Free Advantage. I would like to welcome Amar, Global Product Leader at ELGi. Amar, thank you for joining us. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Prince. Thanks for having me here today, and I definitely look forward to talking to you on this very important topic.
Same here. Amar, let's begin with your background and tell us about your journey and what led you to the product management at ELGi.
Thanks, Prince. Thanks for having me here. So, this is my 7th year in ELGi and overall about 23rd year in compressor industry. Started off with portable compressors, and over the years I have extensively worked in both oil-free and oil lubricated compressors. So what excites me about product management? This is an opportunity for me to work with my team and the cross-functional team to create great products which add a lot of value to our customers and in turn help us grow the business, be the market leaders in the world. So that's what attracts me and makes me work in product management.
So over the years, how have you seen global demand for oil-free screw air compressors evolve?
Yeah, so if you really look about 25-30 years back, right, when a customer was buying compressors, he would make the decision based on only 2 points. Of course, the right sizing is done based on the application. He would look at the cost of the compressor, he would look at the efficiency of the compressor. But over the years, your end customer has started becoming more aware about the quality of the air. There are regulatory requirements that come in and dictate what quality of air has to be used. Correct. The end application, the machinery used, they actually now demand quality. So the third element which has been added in this is, along with the efficiency and the initial cost of the compressor, you also need to look at the quality of the air used. So that's where more and more oil-free air demand has started increasing now.
Looking ahead, which industry do you expect will be the biggest adopters of oil-free technology?
I believe eventually all industries will move. In fact, if you look at it, almost all industries use now oil-free. But my biggest bet would be on life science and distilleries. When I say life science, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, food and beverage, of course, dairy industries also started migrating. Yeah. So my biggest bet would be life science and distilleries.
One term we often hear is class 0 oil-free air.
Right.
So especially in pharma, food and beverages industry. Yes. So why is this classification so critical for these industries?
Yeah. So ISO is a globally accepted standard. There are different sections. So there is a section in ISO which governs the quality of compressed air, which is predominantly based on the amount of moisture content in the compressed air, particulate matters, and oil content, okay. Right? So different applications need different quality of air. We are not saying that oil lubricated is bad, we are not telling oil-free is superior, but different applications need different things. So now if you look at food and beverage or pharma, compressed air typically will be used as a process air. So when I say process air, the air comes in contact with the material or the process that is actually happening. For example, if there is a fermentation happening, the compressed air is slowly pumped through the fermenter to keep fermentation very active. They can also be used to mix the ingredient in the mixer, right? It can be used to kind of squeeze, like for example, there is a fluid that needs to be pumped in, so they may use compressed air to squeeze through. So your air is coming in contact with the material being used. Okay. So it's very important that the purity of the air or the quality of air is very high. If there is even a bit of contaminant in that, it can actually create a damage to the end product that is being produced. And needless to say, in a pharma, correct, if the pharmaceutical goods go for toss, the entire lot has to be disposed. It has very high significant impact on the overall cost incurred in that. Associated with that is also the brand tarnish that can happen to the pharmaceutical company. So that's where the quality of air becomes very important in food and beverage and pharma. That's where class 0 kind of plays very critical role for them.
Can you shed light on the global regulatory requirements impacting compressed air systems?
Well, there are different standards when you talk about food and beverage or pharmaceuticals. So the Food and Drug Administration in the respective region, irrespective of wherever you are, US, Europe, India, every region has their own regulation that comes into picture. The other very important aspect is to do with the ESG norms or the ESG regulations that have come in across the globe in different industries. Added to that would also be the safety requirements. If you're in a power segment or cement where ash handling kind of applications come in, the safety norms also come, because if you're trying to use compressed air for pneumatic conveyors where the ash is in a very high temperature, safety norms also get into picture. And the fourth important point, I would say, more than anything else, the awareness on the part of the customers. Those are the things which are actually kind of driving more and more requirements on the oil-free side.
So how do our proprietary coating on rotors and housing improve long-term reliability?
Well, it's a great point, Prince. I think I would say this in a different way. It's not just the long life, but it's also to do with the quality of the life of components, right? So as you rightly pointed out, we have our own proprietary coating. So the coating kind of helps us to have longevity of the components. It's not just the longevity, but the performance throughout this long tenure is consistent. If you look at some of the other compressor manufacturers, over the year, the coating corrodes, because of which the performance deteriorates. In our case, the coating remains consistent, the performance remains consistent through the life cycle of the compressor. Point number one. Point number two, the coatings that we use are predominantly approved by Food and Drug Administration worldwide. So which makes it a very nice option for our customers to buy this product. They can use the declaration that we give. In turn, whenever their audits are happening or where their auditors from FDA are coming into audit, they can submit these things. So I believe that's a nice value proposition that we have given to our customers.
So now on the innovation spotlight, let's talk about technology and sustainability.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest technological advancements you have recently seen in the oil-free compressors?
Right. So traditionally, if you see, oil-free compressors were dry screw, two-stage, with very sophisticated coating materials being used. So over the years, if you have seen that across the world, different compressor manufacturers have invested in developing alternate materials. They have invested in developing coatings which last much longer. There is investments in the motors. Motors have become a lot more sleek, compact, driving more efficiency into that. The air ends have become more compact, driving efficiency. In fact, with the latest trend in the water injected technology, you would see that now we go to higher pressure on the oil-free, even on the single stage air ends, which traditionally was always a two-stage air end, right? And again, if you see the amount of water required to cool these compressors have drastically come down by investments in cooling. So I would say overall, as a compressed air system, there is a significant investment in terms of material being used, coating, the air end technology, the motors. I think all of them are kind of adding that value proposition to the customers. Even if you look at our own water injected technology, the AB series that we have, it has significantly better performance at a substantially lower cost compared to a conventional dry screw machine.
Oh, that's nice. And is there any technology that we have been using from the advanced ones which we are using?
We have a combination of all of this that we actually kind of promote in our AB series.
So technology, as you say, technology, AI and IoT always plays a significant role. So we have this AI and IoT as always becoming a buzzword in the industry. So
Absolutely.
How are they transforming operations and maintenance in the world of compressors?
Yes, great point, Prince. I don't think there is any industry which is not affected by AI, right? So compressor is no different. In fact, at ELGi, we have been working on IoT, AI and all for almost like last 13 years. We have our own IoT device, which we call as Air Alert. So when you get into continuously monitoring the compressor, couple it with the AI technology that you build in and the intelligence that you build in into the system, we are able to monitor the compressor performance live on a regular continuous monitoring, which actually helps us to give that much better service to our customer. If you look at a customer, what he actually expects is a higher uptime of the compressor. So rather than doing a repair of the machine, if we can be proactive, if we can be predictive, and if we can tell him in advance that these are potentially the maintenance aspect that you need to do, if the machine can start talking to you and telling that, hey, look, I have a problem here with me, that's what AI can do for you, right? So with continuous monitoring of the compressor, coupled with a AI scenario there, you can actually make sure that the compressor's uptime is significantly high, the downtime goes down, and the money that is spent on the warranty for the customer or for the OE actually significantly goes down.
Okay. So from the sustainability angle, What makes oil-free compressors a greener choice today, and any specific benefits around this energy savings?
Yeah. See, as I was telling you earlier, there is nothing like oil lubricated is bad or oil free is good, right? It's all specific to the application. You need to see what application demands and do as per that. Popularly, it is believed that the total install base of oil lubricated compressors around the world from all manufacturers put together effectively throws up close to 2 million liters of oil into environment as part of the oil carryover. So if you are someone who is very eco-conscious, if you want to kind of focus on your ESG aspects, if you want to go green, the first thing that you need to look at is, can I look at eliminating this oil that gets pumped out into the system, right? So 2 million liters is a significant number. Two, by virtue of all the filtration that you have on the downstream side of an oil lubricated machine, you are doing solid fill whenever you kind of replace that. So to me, these are two fundamental things, that when you move from oil lubricated to oil free, you are kind of contributing not just to the environment in terms of reduction in oil and the solid fill, you are also going for a more cleaner air for your application.
So you were talking about AB series. Yeah. So I would like to get into much detail about AB series and understand how it is. So what makes LG's water injected AB series unique compared to traditional oil-free compressors?
Yeah. If you have ever heard our MD Dr. J speak, right? So Jay keeps telling, one of the visions for LG is that we should be able to deliver oil-free air at the cost of an oil lubricated compressor. And I believe our AB series compressors are the first step towards that. As I was explaining you before, there are three elements when customers choose a compressor: the initial cost versus the quality of the air versus the efficiency of the air. So there was a huge void between the oil-free versus oil lubricated when you map that. I believe our AB series is aptly positioned in between this. So we are better than the traditional dry screw. Of course, we have a way to catch up when it comes to lubricated stuff, but compared to the conventional or the traditional dry screw, we have made significant improvement in terms of performance and cost, which gives the advantage to our end customers.
Okay. LG is known for its focus on reliability. Could you elaborate on the AB series?
It's very important that when we do something, we understand the know-how and the know-why. One thing which we are very proud of our engineering is that when AB series was designed, the team spent a very, very significant amount of time to deep dive into each and every details to understand the know-how and the know-why. And that has translated into a very, very reliable product. And thanks to that is where we go back to our customers and guarantee of uptime of the unit, right? So that comes in out of that. So be it in terms of the materials that has been chosen, the system integration way it has been done, the controller that we have, or the air alert system that we put on these machines, all of them put together gives a very, very reliable product for our customers.
Okay. So you were telling about the team has spent an extensive amount of getting into this AB series and understanding know why and know how. How does this AB series meet global safety and regulatory norms?
We have made sure that in all the focus markets that we play, or for that matter any region where we sell these machines, we understand what are the regulatory norms, mandatory statutory requirements that we have to meet, and proactively as part of the product development we get all those certifications done. And unlike some of the other competition, we give away all these certificates with the machine to our customers, which actually they can in turn give it to their auditors when they come for commissioning or inspection.
For many industries, going oil-free comes with the concern, cost, system changes, and so on. So what are the most common challenges you see?
See, well, one of the biggest challenge I would see is the lack of awareness. The customers are not aware of the implication of using a wrong quality air in a particular application. I think that's one of the biggest concern. Second thing is also the customers have a notion that oil-free is a very complicated technology. Will it involve a lot of maintenance? Is it going to be very difficult for them to manage it? I would say no, right? It's not a very complicated technology. As I was explaining in the beginning, over the years, technology has evolved so much that it is a very simple technology right now. Third and very important aspect again is customers look at only the initial cost. They don't look at the life cycle cost. So they fall into the trap of just looking at the initial cost of money that they are paying, but they forget that the operational expense involved in maintaining the compressed air system. So they don't look at the total life cycle cost. So I believe if the customers can start being a little sensitive towards the application demand, understand the total life cycle cost, and take out that notion from their mind that oil-free is a complicated technology, I think that's where the adoption will become that much more easier.
How can businesses, especially in pharma and food and beverage, optimize their air systems for cost, energy efficiency, and reliability?
Sure. So let me answer each one of them independently. So first and foremost, you talked about cost, right? I think it's very important that customers understand their duty cycle, because a lot of times we see that they go for wrong sizing of the compressor. Okay. Because we size the compressor for them based on the data they give. So they have to be realistic. They need to even go to an extent sometimes as the compressor manufacturer, if we can do an audit. We do have something called a sales audit program where we look at their facility, understand what is the true demand. You can build in a little bit of buffer, but it should not be to the tune of 100%, 200% buffer, right? Very important, right sizing of the compressor for the right duty cycle. 2, trying to adapt and buy a compressor which meets the air quality requirement that they have. If they can do these two, that's the greatest thing. Very important, as I already explained, is also looking at the total life cycle cost of the compressed air system and not just look at the initial cost. If we follow these 3, I believe the cost aspect gets covered. The other aspect you talked about is in terms of energy efficiency. Periodically, we encourage the customers to go for air audit. All the compressor manufacturers typically can do an air audit for you, where we can come to your facility, look at your entire compressed air system, and try to understand where we are actually wasting compressed air, right? It can be in the form of leaks, it can be in the form of unwanted joints, it can be in the form of wrong piping layout, or even in the form of wrong usage of compressed air, right? So we can look at that, we can do a thorough audit and give you opportunities to reduce your power bill. 2, very important, which is also connected with the reliability, is to have a very proper preventive maintenance done on the compressors in line with the recommendation that the compressor manufacturers gives. Because when you are trying to do your preventive maintenance, you are making sure that the uptime of the compressor is good. At the same time, since the machine parameters are perfectly fine, your power bill will automatically come down. So your energy efficiency kind of goes up. When it comes to the last aspect of reliability, I always encourage my customers that they should look at having the IoT device on the machine, which helps them to look at the machine health proactively. A predictive analytics can be built in. Even before the machine goes down, you know exactly what the problem is coming in. The compressor manufacturer can come, fix it well in advance, do a very proactive preventive maintenance. So that will ensure that the uptime for the compressor is very high.
What best practices would you recommend to ensure long compressor life and worry-free operations?
Yes. All customers, irrespective of the compressor brand that they use, they should in book and spirit follow the instructions given by the compressor manufacturer in terms of preventive maintenance, in terms of daily checks that you need to do. I would always recommend them that please follow the instructions given by the compressor manufacturer. Point number 2, there is preventive maintenance that needs to be done. Please do not compromise on that. Very diligently do all the preventive maintenance that you need to do, and buy genuine parts from the compressed air manufacturer. Use compressed air manufacturer authorized personnel for doing any sort of service that you want to do. And beyond that, if you are running into trouble, please reach out to the compressed air manufacturer. They'll be able to give you the proper guidance and then fix the issue at the root cause. I think if you do this, that will make sure that the compressor is always up and running with a very high uptime on this.
Where do you see oil-free screw air compressors market heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, to be very honest, we see a very positive, very strong growth. If you look at the sales of compressed air industry in general in oil-free, it has been tremendous growth in the last few years. All indications are that it should be anywhere on the higher side of 5% CAGR till 2030. I strongly urge the customers, don't fall into the trap of technical oil-free when the requirements are there. Please understand your application, look at the total life cycle cost, and then make the wise choice of choosing what type of compressor that you want that meets the end application demand, and you're also falling within the regulatory requirements that meet up. I think that should kind of take care of things for the customers.
Thank you, Amar. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights with us today.
Thank you, Prince. It was indeed great speaking with you.
It is clear that as industries raise the bar on quality, safety, and sustainability, LG's oil-free innovations are ready to meet those expectations. At LG, we believe clean, oil-free air isn't just a requirement, it is a responsibility. Thank you for tuning in to AirTime with LG. Stay connected for more insights into the future of compressed air solutions. Until next time, here is to future powered by efficiency, reliability, and innovation. Thank you.